Seeing these walls from the outside gives you a complete different appreciation for their scale. From here, it's easier to imagine how impressive they must have looked centuries ago, standing as a symbol of strength and protection.
Your outline argues with mine. Fingers turn to silhouettes of blame. Light catches what
Hi, I'm Antonio and welcome to my channel. Every memorable trip begins long before you reach your destination. Sometimes it starts with the excitement of simply knowing that in a little over an hour you will be walking through nearly 1,000 years of history. And here's a tip, if you go by bus, it's so much cheaper. One of the reasons I enjoy traveling by train is that the journey becomes part of the adventure. You don't just arrive somewhere, you slowly watch the landscape change until you finally reach a completely different road. And with that, it was finally time to leave Madrid behind. The further we traveled, the quieter everything became. Busy city streets slowly gave way to open landscapes, making it feel as though we were leaving the present behind. Just one more stop. Silent screams of silent fears, lost in the night of 1,000 years, falling tears like broken streets. Stepping out of the station, nothing immediately tells you that one of Europe's best preserved medieval cities is waiting just ahead. At first, Ávila feels calm, ordinary, almost understated, but sometimes the most extraordinary places don't reveal themselves. All at once, they slowly reward those willing to explore them. One thing that surprised me immediately was the contrast. Modern life exists naturally beside centuries of history, without either one trying to overpower the other. Little by little, the architecture begins to change, almost as if the city is quietly preparing you for what's waiting ahead. As I kept walking, the city slowly began to change. The streets became quieter, the buildings older, and with every corner I turned, it felt like I was getting closer to something special. One thing I really like about places like this is that they don't reveal everything at once. They make you earn the experience step by step, and honestly, I think that makes the arrival even more rewarding. And then there it was. Standing in front of these walls for the first time feels completely different from seeing them in photos. They are not just impressive because of their size. They immediately make you wonder how they've remained here for almost 1,000 years. The moment you walk through one of the ancient gates, everything changes. The noise of the modern city fades away. replaced by narrow streets, centuries-old buildings, and an atmosphere that's surprisingly peaceful. It doesn't feel like an open-air museum. It feels like a place where history is still quietly part of everyday life. Instead of rushing from one landmark to another, I wanted to slow down and simply enjoy the atmosphere. Sometimes that's when you discover the most memorable parts of a city. For centuries, this square has been the heart of life in Ávila. Long before cafes and tourists arrived, this was where merchants traded their goods, important announcements were made, and local celebrations brought the entire community together. Standing here today, it's fascinating to think that people have been gathering in this place for hundreds of years. One thing I noticed while exploring Ávila is that there's no need to constantly check a map. Some of the most interesting moments happen when you simply keep walking and let the city guide you. Every street seems to lead to another beautiful corner waiting to be discovered. Built during the 11th century, these walls have protected Ávila for nearly 1,000 years, stretching for more than 2.5 kilometers, and reinforced by dozens of towers. They were considered one of the best preserved medieval fortifications anywhere in Europe. Standing here, it's impossible not to admire the craftsmanship and determination of the people who built something designed to last for generations. After spending some time outside the walls, I wanted to head back inside and experience the city from a different perspective. Sometimes, walking through the same street twice allows you to notice details you completely missed the first time, and that's exactly what started happening here. Even the smallest shops seem to preserve the medieval character of the city. One of the things I enjoyed most about Ávila was that every walk felt different, even when following the same route. The changing light, the quiet streets, and the architecture kept revealing something new. It's the kind of place that rewards you for slowing down instead of rushing from one landmark to another. Seeing these walls from the outside gives you a complete different appreciation for their scale. From here, it's easier to imagine how impressive they must have looked centuries ago, standing as a symbol of strength and protection. So I decided to climb a little higher to see the walls from another angle. Every few steps, the view became even more impressive, and it quickly became clear why Ávila is considered one of Spain's greatest medieval treasures. From up here, you can truly appreciate the incredible length of the walls and how beautifully they surround the old city. It's an unforgettable view. As impressive as the walls are, I still felt there was more to discover beyond the city's most famous landmark. Leaving the main tourist areas behind gave me a chance to experience another side of Ávila. The quieter streets, the local cafes, and small business and the relaxed pace of daily life reminded me that this isn't just a historic destination. It's a city where thousands of people continue living their everyday lives, surrounded by centuries of history. Every trip teaches you something different. Some destinations impress you with the famous landmarks, while others stay with you because of the atmosphere they create. Ávila managed to do both, and I think that's what makes this city so memorable. As the day slowly came to an end, I found myself reflecting on everything I had experienced. I came here expecting to see impressive medieval walls, but I left with something much more valuable. I discovered a city that quietly tells its story through its streets, its architecture, and its peaceful atmosphere. Sometimes the places that leave the biggest impression aren't the ones filled with crowds or famous attractions. They're the ones that make you slow down, look around, and simply enjoy the journey. If you enjoyed exploring this place with me, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and join me on future adventures. Every month I will be discovering incredible destinations across Europe and beyond. And if you're planning your own trip, you will find my recommended hotels, tours, travels, insurance, and other useful travel resources in the descriptions below. Thank you for traveling with me today, and I will see you in the next adventure.